If you have never attended a Special Olympics event, you are missing out. It is one of the purest things that you will ever see in terms of athletic competition and skills. And the Mississippi Special Olympics Games are happening right here in the state this weekend at Keesler Air Force Base. Monica Daniels is president and CEO of Special Olympics Mississippi. She joins us this morning. Monica, good morning to you. Big weekend coming up for Special Olympics Mississippi.
Good morning, Richard, and thank you so much for having us. Yes, very big weekend, and anyone who knows any secret sauce formulas to keep the rain off the coast, we would appreciate it. But rest assured, we have worked many months and have an in-place contingency plan, so no athlete will be denied their opportunity to compete whatsoever, but we would prefer some sunshine.
I certainly understand that, and hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate this weekend. It's a pretty massive undertaking. You've got lots of participants. There are lots of events that are happening, different sports that are happening. And you heard me say a second ago, if you've never seen a Special Olympics event or series of events, games happen, you're missing out, because seeing some of the challenges and obstacles that some of the participants have overcome to be in this position is it's heartwarming, it's incredible, it's inspiring. I guess I could probably come up with lots of other ways to describe it, but it is just exceptional.
It is. And honestly, there may not be enough words in the thesaurus to describe it. You have to just see it and immerse yourself in it. And, we're going to have 900 athletes this year. So we're coming back to pre-COVID numbers, which is so encouraging. We're going to have over 1,500 volunteers. So there are Olympic Village, which is sponsored by Ingalls Shipbuilding, and Keesler Air Force Base for hosting us, and all of our community partners are going to be there. Free health screenings in multiple disciplines. So on and off the competition field, there are things happening to positively impact the lives of those who participate in Special Olympics. And this year is a qualifying year. So once again, we are approaching the national stage every 4 years, just like the traditional Olympic model. Special Olympics hosts USA Games, and all of the events occurring at Summer Games and that have been occurring so far this year at our state level competitions at other places in the state. Athletes are trying to qualify for that national stage, which will be at the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis, in June of 2026. Lots at stake this weekend.
Give us a sample of some of the events that people will see or hear about this weekend that's happening at the Mississippi Special Olympics Games.
So in the true spirit of Olympic Games and competition and camaraderie and sports and respect, our law enforcement officers started on Monday, the very northeast corner of Mississippi, and they have been running, and our athletes have been joining them on the highways and side roads and through outdoor malls with a lit torch. That started on Monday, and on Friday, that torch will enter Keesler Air Force Base, accompanied by many more police officers, athletes, and active military at Keesler, and they will light the cauldron, and the games will begin. We have a parade of athletes. We have 19 areas across the state, all local programs. They make banners just like flags. They parade in. They are welcomed. The torch is lit. Saturday morning, games begin, and we have bocce, swimming, all track and field, volleyball, tennis skills, so many sports going on, starting at 9 a.m.
I hate to even bring this up, but it was very much newsworthy yesterday. There was an unconfirmed report at Keesler Air Force Base, and it went on lockdown. We got news from Keesler through their spokesperson yesterday that there was no sign of anything to be concerned about. In terms of security and safety, obviously that is important for you and for all of the participants and the volunteers that are there. What have you heard from Keesler?
Keesler, as I've been in direct communication with them since 7 a.m. yesterday. And we were told ahead of time that there was going to be a drill. Obviously, this was not that. And I don't know the ins and outs of that. But what I can say is, and honestly, I had 3 of my staff members who were already there preparing.
Oh, wow.
We stagger down this whole week. So, for someone who was very concerned, the communication was clear and constant and up to date and to the minute. And I was notified the minute the gates were reopened, and everything has been given the green light. And we've been meeting for months since January with all the various groups, and security forces has met with us every 2 weeks for the last 3 months. So we were not left out of this loop at all, and have been reassured that everything will be fine for our athletes, families, volunteers.
Outstanding. Monica Daniels, President and CEO of Special Olympics Mississippi. I've had some interaction with Special Olympics through the years, whether it was events at Ole Miss or a few years ago, there was a unified softball game that happened in Pearl at what was then the Mississippi Braves Stadium. And the word, I know we were kind of playing around with words a second ago. I said adjectives, and you said the thesaurus not big enough, but inspired, I think, is the emotion that I left with being around those young people and young adults who have had to face challenges in their life that most of us don't have to face. And yet this infectious spirit that exists among universally those athletes, and determination and a willingness to just keep fighting. It does something to you on the inside when you see these young people and young adults who have been disadvantaged in their life by no choosing of their own, and yet they are excelling.
Yes, they are. And I'm going on 9 years now, 30 years in nonprofit world, 9 years dedicated to this particular movement. And one of the things that drew me to the work of Special Olympics and to this movement is never underestimate our athletes. Never underestimate individuals that are differently abled or have intellectual disabilities or on the autism spectrum, because you will be disappointed. You will walk away disappointed. And they will have imparted some wisdom if you were wise enough to accept it. They are fierce. They are competitive. They are genuine. They stand up in the face of injustice and unfairness with dignity, and they leave it all on the playing field. Win or lose, they shake hands. No one has to tell them to do that. No one has to say, go be a good sport, shake their hand. We could all learn a lot. And, at the beginning of to kick off our games, we recite the athlete oath, which is, let me win. But if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. And every 900 of them this weekend will embody that oath.
That chill bumps as you were saying that. One of the things that I laughed about, but not, it was just recognition. There's sometimes a little cockiness and a little swagger, and certainly a lot of confidence. I mean, these are athletes that are competing like crazy.
Oh, yes, absolutely. There is no lack of confidence. And, but that's not always the case. And when we were getting ready in 2022, a tiny little story in the few minutes we have left, we were bringing our first unified cheer team with, regular ed and exceptional ed students from the Mississippi Delta, comprised of the Boys and Girls Clubs and Special Olympics Mississippi. And
Monica, let me interrupt you if I may. I want to hear this story, but we're almost up against a break. If you'll hang through the break, I want you to finish this story before we wrap up the conversation. Visiting with Monica Daniels, President and CEO, Special Olympics Mississippi. We got more coming up with you. We're back right after this. Mornings with Richard Cross, SuperTalk Mississippi. Couple more minutes with Monica Daniels, President and CEO of Special Olympics Mississippi, as we get set for the start of the Special Olympics Games, Mississippi Special Olympics Games that are happening at Keesler Air Force Base on the coast this weekend. Monica, you were telling a story. I think I set you up for it by talking about the confidence that we see in Special Olympics athletes, and you said yes, but that's not always the case.
Right. Doesn't always start out that way. And, I could be on here all day and talk to you about Special Olympics, but, I have to be in Keesler by 3. But I was talking about the culmination of a partnership that Mississippi actually launched nationally, and we helped co-write the memorandum of agreement between Special Olympics and Boys and Girls Clubs. And it all started with this Special Olympics Mississippi program and my dear friend David Dallas, who is the CEO of Special Olympics of the Mississippi Delta. We were the only state in the nation that took unified Boys and Girls Clubs teams to USA Games 2022 in Florida. One of those teams was a unified cheer team from the Mississippi Delta. And one of those athletes, Keesler, in addition to hosting summer games, had us back and hosted a training camp. And airmen, young, brand spanking new, wet behind the ears airmen, volunteer every year to be with our athletes all day during their events. And this particular airman was with this cheerleader who was completely nonverbal. She was terrified. She, beautiful smile, just didn't talk. And she started talking because of him. And he looked at the cheer coach, who was so confused and burst into tears. And he had only been on base a couple of weeks. And he said, "My sister's special needs. I know what to do." She started talking, a few words. She would not take off her gold medal. Her dad had to wash her USA Games qualifying shirt every day. And by the time we made it to USA Games, she was talking. So sometimes they don't come super confident, but they leave that way, knowing that their voice is in there. And those airmen help them find it sometimes.
Was she nonverbal at home as well, or only in the team setting?
Mostly in the team setting, but okay. Her family said that she came back to them much more chatty than she left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just
confidence because of somebody caring enough and having the life experience to say, "Hey, you got this."
Right.
That's what a
and that's the kind of impact on and off the playing field that all the volunteers at Keesler help make happen for us. And we host 8 games across the state year round. We're everywhere. I heard you say Ole Miss. They host our spring games, which is all basketball all the time, every year. Camp Shelby, Camp McCain, we're doing this every time we turn around. We're packing up and pitching tents at a new location for our athletes.
2 things as we wrap up. If someone would like to get involved as a volunteer, obviously, it's too late for this weekend at Keesler, but if they want to get involved locally or at the statewide level, what's the best way to do that?
The easiest way to do that is to visit our website, specialolympicsmississippi.org. You will see across the top banner, find a program, get involved. It'll say become an athlete, become a coach, become a volunteer. And then it will show you, like I said earlier, we're 19 local programs. Those are all led by volunteers. The map is up there. It shows you what counties, where you live, and it has the volunteer director's email and phone number on there. Fill out the form, give them a call. We will plug you in.
Beautiful. Love that. And then finally are the state games, Special Olympics Mississippi Games, open to the public?
They are. Everyone can come in through the pass road in Biloxi. And actually, it's not too late to volunteer. We have volunteer T-shirts and sign-up sheets for the morning of. So if you wake up Saturday morning and your coffee has you feeling generous and invigorated, come on out and volunteer.
Beautiful. So you can still volunteer if you would like to. The Mississippi Special Olympics Games happening at Keesler Air Force Base starting this Saturday morning. Can assure you, if nothing else, you will leave inspired. And what a gift that is. Monica, thank you so much for your time this morning. Wish you nothing but success and hope the rain holds off. And if not, we'll all just get wet.
That's right. We'll get wet. Thank you so much.
You as well. Monica Daniels, President, CEO of Special Olympics Mississippi, joining us this morning. What a great event. If I say this as genuinely as I possibly can, if you have never been involved, whether as an observer or a volunteer or a participant even in a unified game setting, do yourself the favor of just one time volunteering to help with a Special Olympics event, close to you, far away, however you want to do it. I promise you the reward that you get will be greater than the reward they receive for you volunteering your time. That's all it takes. You don't have to have any certain skills, just your time and a willingness to go. So great stuff. I appreciate Monica